Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's race number 3 in the Hitman Racewear series here at Sim500 competition. Alongside Jadamush and I am Ben Kilcrease, and getting a picture that you see to you tonight. Going to be Aaron Grosskopf down in the production van. Here we go, John. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 3, and this track, it is hot, it is slick. We are going to be in for a show tonight. 110 laps on the tab here this evening.
123-degree track temperature right now, Ben, in Las Vegas. Now, we were at Atlanta last week, which has the affectionate nickname of Hotlanta, but man, 123 degrees out here in the desert this week, buddy. That's it.
We can call it Hot Vegas this weekend, John. Sorry, I was getting the buttons mixed up there. Just finishing up qualifying here, though, John, and we have some, names that maybe we're not accustomed to seeing up inside the top 10, that maybe this track condition is maybe benefiting here with the hot, slick conditions as we see this weekend. Not a lot of cloud cover going to be playing a factor today. It's, just very minimal clouds in the area. So I think as the race progresses, we mentioned 123 degrees right now. John, that's just going to continue to climb higher and higher as the race goes on.
Absolutely, Ben. And it's going to make this track really, really slick. I've done, I don't even know, maybe 8 or 9 races here this week in the B Open Series. Granted, it's, open setup, so it's a little bit different. But I can tell you this, those tires are going to get real slick right around lap 15 or so, 15, 20 laps in. But if the driver's careful and keeps it off the wall and doesn't overdrive the car, it'll come back to them after about 30 to 35 laps. And if they can make it all the way on a green flag fuel run, which is about, I believe, 50 laps, they should be good to go. Could probably do this in maybe 1 or 2 stops. Depends on how they control that gas.
So we'll see how the fuel shapes up tonight and how the cautions shape up over the course of the evening. As here we go, John, set to go. Let's run them through the starting lineup tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and leading us to the green flag in that number 07 Ford Mustang. That'll be Doy Woods, and to his outside, Chad Coleman will start second in the 20.
Inside row 2, Nick Thames comes in third place in the 51 car. To his outside in the 4th position, Dwayne Vincent at 13.
Scott Simley going to roll off 5th in the number 12. To his outside will be Justin Fuller in that number 5.
And inside row 4, Donnie Leah in the 18 car. To his outside in number 8 position will be Bobby Wetz on the 9 car.
Chris Caboo, Michael Keaton, 1 and 7 round out the top 10 there. As the rest of the starting grid going to scroll across the bottom of your screen. Some notable starting spots here, John. Championship leader after 2 races, Steve Marinac, going to be starting 13th. Second place in the points, Daniel Falkingham starts 23rd tonight. Even for on down there as well, 3rd in the championship standings heading into tonight. Ryan Howard, he'll start 21st. So a lot of these guys that are up in the championship standings after Daytona and Atlanta are really got their work cut out for them over this 110 laps here in Vegas.
Absolutely, and I'm surprised Falkingham had such a bad qualifying run there, Ben. He was looking really good in practice, but the temperatures jumped up a little bit, and I think that caught him off guard. And we're going to have a full field, 39 cars tonight here in the Hitman Sunday Night Xfinity Series for Sim500, Ben, and that's going to play havoc. If we go on long runs, we're going to have all kinds of guys that drive a different line and a different speed through the corners. And that's something we have to keep an eye on. I've seen it all week long, to be honest with you, in the Open Series, is lap cars causing issues for your leaders.
Absolutely, and we'll keep an eye on that over the progression of the runs. And, John, we say there's not going to be a lot of cloud cover in this race, and here we are on the grid. Cloud cover in Las Vegas. Even the weather likes to make us liars.
It's designed to make us look like idiots, I think. I think that's what Myers and those guys that I really had in mind when they came up with that.
So that cools the track temperature down for the restart, which is going to be a little interesting here to see who's going to be able to get out and in that clean air, which will be crucial all night long. We'll be talking about clean air, clean air, clean air. Good qualifying effort for Nick Timms in that 51, the Hitman Racewear Series, and the Hitman Racewear Ford Mustang starts inside of row number 2. It'll be Doy Woods and Chad Coleman leading us to the green flag. It's race number 3. 2 winners so far this season. Falkingham at Daytona, Byron Daly at Atlanta. We'll see who's going to get maybe a little lucky in Las Vegas. Gamble, maybe. We'll all find out. 110 laps ahead of us. Pace car set to head on down to pit road. Doy Woods, Chad Coleman lead the field of 39 to the green flag at Las Vegas.
And they're off. It's like one of the race sports guys, man. I tell you what, Doy Woods.
Oh, and there's an incident already, John. Sorry, there's a big checkup at the back of the field trying to get the number on that machine. It was a 06 of Byron Daly, last week's winner at Atlanta. Already heavily damaged on that machine.
That is unfortunate for Daly. He's going to have to try and get that thing fixed. He's got a long time, though, Ben, to get some repairs made of that car, try and stay on track, maybe get his laps back from going down. He's going to go down if he goes to the pitch right now for sure. Long 110 laps to go, well, 109 now. He'll be okay, I think. I mean, he'll be able to hopefully salvage something out of this. In the meantime, up front, we've got a challenge for the lead. The 20-car Chad Cole down there on the inside trying to take that away from Doy Wood.
Battle for the runner, or for the lead of this race. Rather, Doy Woods goes back to the runner-up spot. Chad Coleman goes to the lead. Nick Timms there sits third. Fourth to Justin Fuller. Dwayne Vincent is fifth, and a good battle for sixth behind them. Donnie Leah in that 18 makes the high side work over Scott Simley to the front straightaway. Leah's got a good run on Vincent as well, making that middle groove work, and now he peeks to the outside. That'll be a battle for a position inside the top 5.
You got the oil car versus the Tabasco car. So there's an interesting fight right there. But I tell you what, there's something I learned this week, Ben, running this car on this track, is about 5 to 6 laps in, that groove really starts moving up. And, we didn't even have temperatures this high. Of course, the temperature's down to 109, so the cloud cover's really helping with that. But we never saw temperatures over 85, I think, this week. So we had cooler track conditions. But it just seemed to me that every race that we ran, about 5 laps in, that groove moves up to the middle. And by the end of the run, you're really looking for that high line to get the grip and the runs to pass people. It was so hard to pass people down low without getting moved.
We'll see the Larson line a lot down in 1 and 2 tonight, just like we will down in the Monday Trans-Service Cup Series tomorrow night as well. I've been doing a lot of practice in the Cup car. Not a lot of racing in the Xfinity car this week for me, but I do know how the track is going to react with the slick conditions. We've had a lot of slick tracks in NIS and A-Fixed, and the temperature starts to climb back up. And like you said, John, as the run goes on, kind of like Atlanta, we'll see these guys inch further up the racetrack looking for grip as that run goes on. We work lap 5 to a 110, and it's Chad Coleman leading about 5-6 cars in the pack.
Absolutely. A good run for Coleman tonight. He's been strong really throughout pretty much all the series we've seen him in, Ben. I think Doy Woods made a smart move there. He didn't put up a big fight. He wanted to try and conserve the tires in case this does go a long time there. Very smart move on his behalf. So I look for this, to be kind of a calm race at the first. These guys get a feel of what the track's going to do. But I think once they get used to, maybe this first long run and see what the car does over time, we could see a lot of really good battles on the middle of the high lines as the race passes on.
That we could, and everybody's got a lot of grip now, John. They've got the tires are feeling really good. If you abuse them early on and try and get everything you can out of them in these first 10 laps, you're really going to be paying the price from 15, 20, 25, 30 on forward. Tire conservation going to be a big story of tonight's race, and who's going to be able to save tires the most. We look through the field. We've got some great tire savers mired middle pack, and I can guarantee you as the run progresses, we'll be able to, or we'll start seeing those guys slowly start to inch their way forward in the running order.
I'll tell you what, if you're looking at second and third right now, man, it looks like Fuller really wants second spot. And at the same time, Woods has decided that maybe he's tired of being behind Chad Coleman in that 20. We've literally got a 3-way fight right here going into 1 for the first place. 2 guys really down low, and then you got Woods in the middle there, running that middle line there.
Look at the run that Doy Woods gets off of turn number 4 to the stripe. give it to Coleman that lap, but Doy Woods in the 0-7 trying to make the pass. He's got the position in 1 and 2. We'll see if he can slide up in front of the 20. He's got to do it before he gets the run off of turn 2. He'll do just that. Doy Woods goes back to the top spot here in Las Vegas, and look at Justin Fuller there in the 5 all over the bumper of Coleman, and Nick Timms, good run there for him. He sits 4th in that 51.
I tell you what, I really thought they would kind of take it easy for a few laps, and I mean we're only 10 laps in, and they're already dicing it up out there. And I find it interesting that you see a couple of cars hooking up like a 2-car tandem. Remember those old days when we had the 2-car tandems at Talladega and Daytona? That's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit there.
Yeah, big. This is a fast mile and a half, John. I mean, this is we see some of the highest speeds of the season here at Las Vegas. So draft a big part. They're almost 190, 195 heading down into the turns on fresh tires. So, draft is a big part, and if you can push the guy in front of you as opposed to diving into the corner side by side and not really having a good edge on him, then I'm gonna hook up with him, kind of like the 2-car tandem, and push him down the straightaway, give us both a little bit of an edge heading into the next turn.
It looks like that 07 Woods there, Ben. He's decided that high line, that middle line is working best for him. Last couple of laps, he's been up pretty high in turns 1 and 2 and about mid-track there in 3 and 4, as you see right here. That's what I found in my experience on this track this week. That middle line is really the best for maintaining your momentum through the turns, but also not really wearing those tires out too bad. And what I really found interesting, Ben, was kind of crazy, but towards the end of the run, the middle to end of the run, on a 50-lap run. Now here, I have to amend that, by the way, real quick. It's only going to be about 35 to 40 laps on fuel for these guys. But, towards the end of the run, Ben, the harder I drove it into, or not the harder, but the further I drove it into 3 and 4, the better the car handled. It was crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of feels the same way in the Comp car to a certain extent, depending on, where you enter and where you're at behind the person in front of you. It's really... We'll bring it up again. Clean air is going to be the story of the race. As look
Absolutely.
Back here at this hornet's nest, John, circulating all around. Michael Keaton there and almost come together down the back straightaway with Scott Simley. The 23 of Josh Parker sort of leads that small pack, but looks like he may be holding them up. Look at Keaton getting a good run to the outside of Dwayne Vincent. He'll try and take that position. They make contact on the front straightaway. Vincent goes hopscotching through the grass, and he's going to come back up on a racetrack here. No harm, no foul, re-entering the speedway, but he loses multiple positions, does the driver of that 13 Camaro.
I bet Dwayne Vincent in that Tabasco car would beg to differ about no harm, no foul right about now. You're right, he lost a bunch of spots right there, and he does have some significant right front damage, which means that Keaton's probably going to have some left side damage there, and that could come into play later on, Ben, especially on the tire wear. If the car gets tighter on him, it's already a tight setup, fixed setup. If it gets any tighter on them, they'll be abusing those tires if we're not too careful.
Absolutely. Speaking of Keaton, 7th for car number 7. Good run for the Alabama driver. And while we talk about Alabama, John, we need to keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers. Tornadoes out throughout Alabama and Georgia and Northwest Florida this evening. Lives lost and a lot of families suffering from property loss as well. So everybody in our thoughts and prayers in the southeast United States as the storms continue to roll through into the later part of tonight.
Absolutely, Ben. And I know you live out in that neck of the woods. Keaton's out there. We got a bunch of these drivers here in the Sim500 live out there, and I'm just thinking about all of you guys right now. As a resident down here in South Louisiana, I'm no stranger to harsh winds and heavy flooding and tornadoes and whatnot. So I'll be praying for you guys, man.
It's Doy Woods leading here at Las Vegas, followed by Chad Coleman, Justin Fuller, Donnie Leah, and Josh Parker. That's the top 5 as we pause 10 seconds for station identification. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Doy Woods continuing to kind of open up that lead, John, here, as he's got just about 3/10 last time by at the flag stand over Chad Coleman, and really starting to shape up, and clean air starting to really show itself here late in the run as we 18 laps into this thing. And look at the different lines down in 3 and 4. Woods up in the middle, and Justin Fuller gets a little sideways off turn 4.
Yeah, this is about the time of the race, Ben. Almost 20 laps into this race where they're going to start getting real slick, real loose, and that's what I was talking about earlier in the top of the show. I just preferred to move up out where Woods is running right now, and Coleman and those guys. It's easier to catch the car. And we're going to take a moment silence. I'll let Ben explain that. Go ahead, Ben.
Yep, very dear and close to our hearts here at the Sim Racing Network. Dylan Brockwell used to race in a lot of broadcasted races. He raced the number 20, so we're going to go silent on lap 20. Brockwell, this one's for you, bud. Gone too soon, certainly not forgotten on the iRacing service. A champion, a multi-time race winner, and very near and dear honor to call him a friend and call a lot of his success right here on the Sim Racing Network. We miss him every day and think about him all the time, as he'd love to be driving that 20 car right now, John. Chad Coleman's got it hooked up, and how fitting. The 20 car taking the lead just after we pause there for Dylan Brockwell. How special is that here in Las Vegas?
That's pretty awesome. It really is, but I hate to say this, but I don't know that the 07 is going to give that lead up that much. I'm just finding out about Dylan, to be honest with you, Ben. I had no idea. I kind of fallen out of contact with all of you guys from the old days for a few years there, and it breaks my heart, man. Dylan was a great guy, but I tell you what, he's got to be sitting up there smiling right now watching that 20 car take the lead down here.
Absolutely. Coleman doing the 20 proud, is really developing a big pack of cars right here. 5 cars all going at it for the lead, and a great battle up front. Coleman leading now. Justin Fuller and Doy Woods has slipped back to 3rd. And look at Josh Parker there in the 23. Really dives it down into 1 and 2. Pushed up the racetrack there. Had to get out of the throttle. But Parker kind of coming alive there in the 23. That car is really hooking up for him. And as is Donnie Leah there in the 18. He's really starting to show his muscle here on the long run too.
And these are 2 cars, Ben, that at the start of this run didn't really push too hard, trying to pass too many cars or anything like that. So they're probably a little bit better condition on those tires. But I will say this, that 23 of Fuller down there on the inside, he's not going to make a pass on there. I can promise you that. This late in the run, it's impossible unless somebody just gives it to you, kind of like that guy right there did. I just, you know what? Sometimes I just want to stop talking because they really make me look dumb. But, I mean, dude, it's look at Leah just come flying by the 07. I think the 07 is maybe just trying to survive to the end of the run there. He's probably used up his tires a little bit. It's getting a little loose on him right now, but I'm really amazed that the 23 has this much juice left in those tires to be able to make moves like that down that inside line. It was something I struggled with all week long in the runs I had.
Absolutely. We talked about it earlier, John. If you're good to your tires in the first 10 laps, they'll be good to you later in the run, and that's kind of the storyline for Josh Parker, Donnie Leah, and don't look now, John, but here comes a championship leader, Steve Marinak. Started 13th, is up to 6th, and he is knocking on the door to top 5.
Well, this is the point in the race, Ben, where guys who can handle a loose car, who can drive a loose car without abusing those tires, we talked about this last week, the more you slide your tires when your car gets loose in the long run, the worse they're going to run throughout the rest of that run. So you got guys that are really good at still being able to be competitive with a loose car and not abuse them, and those are the ones that are stand out right now in this phase of the run.
That they are, as it's a good battle up front. Coleman trying to hold off Justin Fuller. Fuller down on the inside there, and a number 5 trying to work that bottom. And was he nice to his tires in the first 10 lap of this race? Look at him walk up the racetrack. Almost some contact there between the 2 leaders. And Josh Parker says, excuse me, pardon me, I had a little tire saved for you guys up here at the front.
Yeah, that Mustang back there, that 23 Mustang, is just kind of lurking back there, Waiting for the,
Oh!
we're going to have contact right here, Ben. That's going to slow both of them down, allow the 23 to get 3 wide on our back stretch. Are they going to stay 3 wide going to 3? Gosh, I hope not.
It looks like they are. Nobody's giving an inch. 3 wide for the lead. Give it to Josh Parker. Picked both of their pockets on the back stretch.
Watch
And
the
now
crossover.
Fuller. Yeah, here comes a crossover. Parker gets a little sideways. What a battle for the lead we're having shaping up here. Fuller leads that lap at the line. Parker, though, going to have something to say about it as they race down into turn 1. Fuller going to be looking for the slide job.
Oh!
Almost a replay there of the last time. Now Fuller gets sideways. He sucked the air off the spoiler, did Parker around the outside. Fuller still trying to catch it. Parker with the lead, though, heading down into turn 3. Leah had nowhere to go but into the back bumper of Fuller and gave him a shot heading down into 3.
It's a little bump drafting, Ben. It's not a shot, it's bump drafting.
Whoa, and now Coleman walked it up the racetrack in turn 4. Some great battling here as the tires are really starting to show who's been nice, who's kind of used their stuff up, and I'm keeping my eye on that number 15, Steve Marinac, back here in 6th. He is really closed up to these guys, John. I think he's got something not only for the guys back here on the outside of the top 5. Look at Woods, very veteran move there, just pulls over and let him have the position. Marinac now up to 5th, and he is inside the top 5. I think he may have something for the 23 if he can make it to him.
Absolutely. That's what I love about this kid, Doy Woods. I've only talked to him maybe 1 or 2 times in the server, but he seems like a real smart guy. And like you just said, that's a veteran move right there. It doesn't matter where you're at on this lap. It matters where you are on that last lap, be it in the lead or in the pits. You don't want to be in the pits and the garage broken. So he moved over and let that 15 by because he recognizes a faster car. But Ben, this is my favorite part of the run, even when I'm driving or broadcasting, either or. It's fun to watch these guys slipping and sliding, banging and bumping, and making moves out here on a car that's just not happy right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Working lap 30 is almost a third away through this race. Josh Parker leads the way, followed by Justin Fuller, Chad Coleman, Donnie Leah, and Steve Marinac. That's the top 5. They've got a little bit of distance in between everybody, so that's going to be a perfect time for us to take a quick commercial break. You won't miss anything on our corner-to-corner coverage. We'll be back from Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 3 here in the Hitman Racewear series and Sim500 competition. And here we are, John. Dave Comstock, 27th starting position, albeit no cautions, up to 8th. How about that for a drive through the field?
That's a guy, Ben. We have seen him do this time and time again. He's nowhere to be seen at the start of a run. At the end of that run, he has picked off everybody and their brother. This man has gone from 27th to 8th in 35 laps on a hot, slick track with the same equipment everybody else out there has, but he's taking care of that car. I guarantee you, caution or not, when this race comes down to the end, he'll be up there up front battling for the lead with a car that's probably unscathed.
Absolutely, and the guy he's kind of tied the rope to and drug with him right behind him, Mike Kelly, started 29th and bumped him up to the 9th position there for the number 2. Driver just getting out of the hospital a couple days ago and hopping right into the car. He's even got a little bit of front end damage, but it's not slowing down that number 2 machine. As you see, Scott Simley, one of the first drivers to peel off and head down pit side, John. So we may be seeing some pit stops starting to occur here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Leaders on lap 37. It's about that time.
Yeah, pretty much. We covered earlier pit windows between 35 and 40. And I tell you what, you touched on it. It's good to see Mike Kelly out here on track doing some laps. You know, he sent that picture to the group this week of him in the hospital. Didn't look too good for him to be joining us again for a while, but here he is on track making it work. And I tell you what, behind him, big wiggle off of the looks like the 41 car there of EJ O'Rourke. He saved it, but wow, Ben, you can't get much more sideways than that and save it.
Yeah, these guys are squealing at the tires are squealing at the drivers, saying we need to be changed. And a lot of guys, a lot of guys are starting to realize that, and they're heading down to pit road, or at least some of the mid-pack cars are trying to get the edge on the guys with the fresher rubber, short pitting style of racing. And O'Rourke heading down to pit road now on that 41. He gets it woed up to 50 mile an hour, the speed road pit limit here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's really tough to get on the pit road after the tires have been so eaten up here. So, and then we've seen it time and time again here with this group of Sim500 drivers. Been mistakes in the pit road right there. O'Rourke slid through his pit, so he's got to back it up and try and get back in there. Mistakes on pit road will cost you big time, especially on green flag pit stop.
That they will, and we'll see how he sort of bounces back after that small mistake on pit road. Talk about Dave Comstock, John. He is in 8th, and now he has caught the tail end of the lead pack. We'll call it the lead pack. He's about 2.3 seconds off the leaders, but this lead group of cars, maybe a better word for him, he has caught him. He's caught the bumper of Doy Woods, looking to make the pass for 7th over in 3 and 4.
It's so much fun to watch Comstock drive, man. You know, no matter what the car is, the A car, this car, that K&N car when I first started broadcasting with you, this guy is just amazing. I mean, he's the epitome of saving your tires, saving your equipment on the car, and being there at the end. And here we are at the end of this long run, lap 41 already. And, I mean, he's still picking them off, Ben. It's so much fun to watch guys like him.
It certainly is. Fun little stat. 5 of the top 10 drivers started 12th or worse in this race on lap number 41, and 3 of the top 6 have started worse than 12th.
That's crazy, but again, it just shows the caliber of driver we have here at Sim500. Folks, if you're looking to get in with a really good bunch of people, head over to sim500.com, see what they've got available. I know a lot of these series are already filled up and the registration is closed, but keep your eye on that website, because if you can get in with these guys, you'll learn a lot about how to drive these cars. They drive everything, the Cup cars, the trucks, this car, the K&N sometimes. So, like I said, go check them out. In the meantime, Ben, we've got a gaggle of cars up here. We got Leah up there, the 15 car that we've talked about already, Steve Marinac, our points leader. And just in front of him is the 82 car of Chad Cole. Just kind of all caught each other right there. So it's going to be kind of fun to watch them get in and out of pits with each other.
Absolutely. And while we were kind of running through the field there, had an incident with Justin Fuller. If we can get a camera on the right side of that machine, he has pounded the outside wall and really done a handful of work to the side of that number 5 machine, and gets close to it again off turn 4 there, does Justin Fuller, as he's trying to fend off Chad Coleman. That would be for the 2nd spot. That's allowed Josh Parker, though, out in front of the field to get a nice, comfortable 1.2 second lead back to that runner-up spot battle. Look at this, John, 2 by 2. It looks like we're lining up for a restart, and we're 44 laps into this thing.
That's insane, and they've got to all be getting really low on fuel, which makes this car even more difficult to drive, even more loose in that back end. And look,
and then Coleman into the wall hard. Big crash there, putting us under caution for the first time tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It comes between two drivers racing for the runner-up spot. Maybe a slide job gone wrong there. Coleman comes a little bit off the bottom. Fuller not giving up any ground on top. Puts Coleman into the wall. Fuller gets a big piece of it as well. Looks like everybody else was able to sort of skirt through. Looked like Coleman may have bounced off the roof of the points leader, but Marinak looks to be unscathed as he slows down for the caution.
I'll tell you what, Marinak escaped the bullet right there. If he didn't get any damage at all from that, it's a miracle. Because, I mean, it looked to me like Coleman bounced, like you said, bounced off the top of that 15 car. But, man, what a lick. And I hate to say this, but that's probably going to do it for the 20 car. He has no back end on that car at all. He can get in and get some repairs done under this caution. But, man, that's some damage. And, Ben, this also means that all those guys that pitted early are now at least one lap down, possibly a little bit more. Do they stay out? Maybe get that wave around, or what do you think's going to happen here?
I think at this point of the race, you have to stay out, get back on the lead lap, and almost sort of hope for another quickie caution at this rate. As we talked about Chad Coleman, luckily that number 20 was able to even drive back to the pits and didn't blow the motor there. As everybody down on pit road for service, Josh Parker going to lead the field off of pit road. He'll win the race easily there, and it's going to be a close one behind him, but look who's going to come out second there. Dave Comstock from 27th, going to restart second on this restart. How about that?
I'll tell you what, Comstock, he just kind of like verifying everything we've ever said about him. Always there when it counts. And don't be surprised, though, Ben. You've said it before, and you probably back me up on this, but on this restart, he probably won't put up too much of a fight. He might, after he drops back 4 or 5 spots, but he probably won't put up too much of a fight at the start of this run, just to make sure he's there at the end of it.
Absolutely, and goes back to being nice to those tires for the first 10 laps of the run, and that's really all you need. At least it was that way in the Cup car, John. If you save for 10 laps in the run, you could pretty much go, 70, 80% the rest of the run and have a pretty comfortable car under you. But if you pushed any harder than I'd say 50 or so percent in the first 10 laps of the run, then it's gonna be sideways from 15 on for you. And I'm getting the same sort of feeling from these drivers as well. We talked about Parker wasn't a factor at all at the beginning of this race, and then sort of like the car just came alive midway through that run, and he blows the doors off of everybody and takes the lead in a pretty demanding fashion. Dave Comstock, didn't even mention him in the race. We didn't even, I had to go back and look at the roster, John, to even see if he was in the race. He had a poor qualifying effort, nothing against him, but I mean, it goes to show you. I
don't think he even did a qualifying run, Ben.
Yeah, 27th. Yeah, he started way back in the field. What I was saying though, I didn't even have him as a factor, in the first half of this race. But here he is, lap 47 of 110, and he's going to restart second on this restart. Chad Cole, he started back in 16th. Not a good qualifying effort there, but he's worked his way up to third. So I mean, some great drives by the drivers inside the top 3 here. And just look where they started from. Parker, who's leading, started 12th. Comstock started 27th. Chad Cole started 16th. And really, you only have 2 drivers left, or 3 drivers left in the top 10 that started in the top 10. You go back to 6 with Steve Marinak. He started 13th. Eric Arnold back in 7th. He started 15th. Mike Kelly, he's coming from 29th. He'll restart 8th here. Glenn Campbell from 22nd up to 9th. And you have Dwayne Vincent there, who had a trip through the grass. He started 4th, and he sits back there in 10th. Doy Woods, our pole sitter, he'll restart 6th here on this restart. So, boy, this race is really, really getting fun, and I hope we can get another good green flag run like that, John, because not anything against the drivers, but, boy, they stepped it up there at the end of that run, and it got more exciting than it was on the restart.
Absolutely, Ben. And I'm gonna back up to what you said a minute ago. Totally concur with how you were describing that. If you take care of those tires thing, I found that out the hard way in a couple races. I really was aggressive, trying to pass cars as many as I could on the start or restart of a race, and it bit me in the ass so bad after about 10 laps. My car was just wicked loose. But yeah, absolutely. And here we go. We're going back to green, and I hope, like you, that we have a long green flag run, because boy, these guys are just so entertaining when these tires get slick.
That they are. 48 laps in, closing in on halfway. John, how about a good old-fashioned Sim Racing Network turn it up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Turn those speakers up. It's Josh Parker. Green flag back in the air. Let's turn it up. Some great racing as Josh Parker gets back out to the lead, and some awesome turn-it-up action there. And boy, these guys really getting close to that wall, up close and personal off turn 2 there, John. And here's the battle for the lead. David Comstock all over the bumper of Parker. Parker gets the apron down in 3 and 4, kind of slid the tires there. You can't do that. Wow, out in front, and especially when Dave Comstock is behind you in the 42 breathing down your neck.
Why do I even make predictions anymore, Ben? I don't know why I do that. I'm sitting here, oh yeah, Comstock's going to take it easy, let people pass him up. And he's right there just chewing on the bumper, that 23 car. But behind him is that 18 of Donnie Leah. That might have something to do with it. He doesn't want Leah to be able to.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.